Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. Now being live streamed and broadcasted across YouTube and Twitch. Shout outs to, I think Keezy's the only one that we know for sure is watching. So shout outs to Keezy on a Monday afternoon at almost 3 p.m. watching the live stream. That's the dedication we love. And if you're not here, we know you're still dedicated and you love us. You just can't be here. And also it's Monday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I would expect almost no one to watch this, but
yeah.
only the most faithful.
Yeah, but we got a little bit busy yesterday, and also tiredness and dogs everywhere that we're not tired.
Oh my God! Don't even.
Yeah, so don't
even get me started.
That's why we're recording now on Monday. As soon as the episode's done, Nick is gonna edit the video and he's gonna upload it right away. Yeah. Edit in quotes because we don't really edit. And it'll be up in an hour, but also the live stream is on VOD, so that's pretty cool too. And then the audio, I'll put it up as soon as I can because I do a little bit more work than Nick, if we're being honest, with the audio stuff. That was a dig at you.
Okay, you can believe that.
Yeah, I do. I put music. That was a dig at you. I don't know. I want to throw that in there.
Where'd that music come from?
Your wife, but okay. But yeah, thanks again everybody for joining us for the live stream and for everybody that watches the show and also listens to the show. So we're still rocking. Like I was saying earlier, right before episode 93, super excited. We're going to be talking some PlayStation stuff and some Microsoft stuff, and we're super excited for episode 100, which every time I say it feels so far away, but we're going to celebrate it with some balloons and streamers and stuff. Or maybe not as much. It depends on the budget. We're going with like a $10 budget to go to BJ's or a dollar store or something.
No, we're not going to BJ. We're going to, you go to Party City. That's where you get all that stuff.
All right, Party City.
Or I think Dollar General.
Yeah, we'll find something.
We're on a Dollar General budget.
There's Dominican shops around here. They always got like random shit and you're like, oh, this is here? All right, I'll get it. So we could do that too.
Cakes and balloons. What more do you need?
Yeah. Get some tres leches, if you know what I mean. All right, let's start the episode. We just want to mainly recap the Sony's State of Play that they just did last week. A lot of good games shown off, a lot of good footage shown off. We really enjoyed it. So we're just going to kind of recap that, and then we'll have the Microsoft news that we wanted to touch on at the end. So let's start right off with Helldivers 2, which is releasing in a couple days, February 8th. Showed a quick snippet of video, quick gameplay. Sony has been really marketing this because it's a PC and PlayStation exclusive, so looking pretty good. We're super excited. I think, I can say that for both of us, but I think we're super excited, and it's mostly because of the aspect of being able to play together. Obviously, we're always looking for multiplayer games to play, and we've talked about this in previous episodes where this is one of the ones we've been looking at for a long time. And I played the original one where it was more of a top-down one, and it was a fun, good time. It reminded me of Rogue Nation or something like that. I forgot. Zombie Nation. I forget the name of it, but it was like a zombie one that they also had. And this one's more third-person action, but it looks to still be fun. Something that you could just quickly jump in and play with your friends and have a good time. I know you maybe not as excited, but do you see this as like a potential one to jump in and play with on game night?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good game night candidate. And I think it'll be similar to Remnant 2, where the game was kind of on my radar. It came out, you really enjoyed it. It got a lot of good, I think it got a lot of good buzz at launch. So that compelled me to buy it. And, we played that game quite a bit together. So
we got to finish it.
We're never going to finish that game, but we did play it a lot. So I feel like there's a similar, that's kind of how I'm approaching it, where I think Helldivers 2 could be 2024's Remnant experience for us.
Oh yeah, and definitely because it's so easy to pick up and put down. Like we won't feel bad when we abandon it at some point. All right, next game is Stellar Blade, which surprisingly got a release date April 26th. Super excited about this one. This game looks amazing. We've talked about it for a long time. It was showcased in one of the state of plays last year. It's made by a Korean studio. Am I right on that one? Or Chinese?
Correct. Yeah, this one's Shift Up, I believe. It's
Yeah.
Korean.
And it just looks amazing. Definitely, it gave me a very near vibe, which I enjoyed. Enjoyed the combat on that. The character models are really great. The enemies look really great. I'm super excited. And it's a new wave of these Korean and Chinese studios that are making games for PlayStation, exclusive for PlayStation. Big driving force along the lines of also like Wukong. So I'm super excited for this one. Definitely, I think I'm gonna pick this up day one. Love me some single player action games. Did you enjoy
Day
everything you saw?
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought it looked great. I think going into the state of play, all I was really asking for was a deeper look into Stellar Blade and Death Stranding 2, and that's what we got. So
that's what
maybe
you
we'll get
got.
in. Yeah, we'll get into it, when we recap the overall show. But uh, yeah, what we saw definitely check the box for me. I think it continues to look great. I think the fact that Sony stepped in and did some sort of publishing arrangement with the studio kind of tells you a lot about what they think about the quality of the game. So that was a good signal for me to get excited about it. And the release date I thought was much sooner. I guess we really had no idea. I think they just
Yeah,
kind of said 2024, but April feels pretty soon.
pretty
I
soon.
hope I'm done. I hope I'm done with all these other games.
Yeah, Final
The
Fantasy, Dragon's Dogma. Those are long ones.
Yeah, and we'll get to it in closing thoughts, but I'm like 5% through Infinite Wealth, and
These
then
long.
there's also Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So it's just Q1's is it's a great problem to have, but it's just so busy, and I feel like it's gonna spill over into Q2. Uh, but there's also like not too much we know about for Q2 in terms of like other heavy hitters. Only my real plan was spooling up Final Fantasy 14 in anticipation of the next expansion launching in the summer.
Yeah, so
So I think so. It's like I don't like I. If it wasn't for just being so busy, I think this would be a day one for me. But because it's such a crowded, like, just I have such limited time to play games, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up buying it later. We'll see. But I did. I thought it looked great.
well, I only say that because I have no baby and I have no dogs, so I just game a lot.
You
So
do have a cat.
yeah,
You know,
well,
the cat counts for something.
yeah, but he leaves me alone when I game mostly. So, so I do spend more time. That's why I think day one for me is a very optimal choice, especially if it gets good reviews. But I think from what I saw, I liked it anyways, and I've gotten way worse games and still enjoyed them. I will say like Atlas Fallen last year was one where I was like, I'll buy it day one, and it wasn't the greatest, but I had a good time.
I think the only risk of buying a day one is if the game ends up being insanely short or something like that. Like that's the
Yeah,
only
that would suck.
thing that could happen where it's like, okay, like maybe I don't want to pay full price day one for this 8 hour game. But
I agree. I haven't
other than
ran into
that,
that
I
though.
feel like it's what's that?
I agree, but I haven't run into that, so it's a good thing at least for me so far.
Yeah.
All right, next game is Sonic Shadow Generations. Well, Sonic's X Shadow Generations, but we don't mention the X. I don't know why I mentioned the X. Anyways, autumn 2024, and I don't think we have much to say about this because, as we said on the live stream, we weren't really big Sonic people, even though Nick got a Sega before he got
No,
a
no, no.
Nintendo.
My quick Sonic thing is, as a kid, I fell into the trap of Sega's marketing of Genesis being this like edgy, cool system. So I had a Genesis before I had a Super Nintendo, and I don't know if I played like every Sonic game, but I played a lot of the Sonic games on that system. And I think I skipped Saturn. I got a Dreamcast, so that's the Sonic Adventure games and all that. So I would play like a lot of the flagship Sonic titles, just because like that was those are the big games that generally launched, with the systems. And then like if you play those games now, you're like these games are garbage.
I mean,
Like,
that's a bit far. That's a bit far.
these games are like, so you can play Super Mario World today, and you're like, holy shit, like this game's fucking incredible. If you try to play the first Sonic game, you're like, this sucks. Like this is like not a great game.
But everybody loved that
So-
Sonic game that came out like a couple years back, where it kind of had the aesthetic of the old ones, but just with better graphics. Everybody enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
that's a bit harsh. Sega, we're sorry.
No,
I gotta apologize.
I mean, that's one man's opinion.
All right.
I feel like there's that game, design doesn't really hold up particularly well.
No, I agree. with you on that end.
In fairness, I think because of that, like it's one of those things where, I played the games as a kid, I enjoyed them. Years later, nostalgia kicks in. You're like, oh, let me play these like old Sonic games, and you play them. You're like, okay, these actually aren't particularly fun. So because of that, I really haven't messed around with the more recent attempts at the 2D Sonic formula. I'm sure they're better, but I'm just kind of like not super interested in that. So
All right.
That's it.
Those are our
that was
thoughts on Sonic.
a very long-winded, probably more than you asked for in terms of feedback on this game.
Yeah. All right. Well,
That was
at least-
a very long answer for me to say I'm not interested in this game.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are interested, go watch some Sonic stuff. All right. Next one is Zenless Zone Zero. Another trailer for this one. Late 2024 release. No exact date. It looks good. We're still kind of semi-interested in it. I think I just want to play as the Wolfman, and I think Nick wants to play as the Bear Man. So
I'm on Team Bear.
yeah. So another game made by the Honkai Star Rail people and the what's the other one?
Genshin.
Impact people. So I'm pretty sure it'll be addictive, and hopefully it's not too gacha. So on that.
That is. Do you actually hope that?
Yeah, because I don't want to be gacha'd.
That's not. I mean, because that's not going to happen.
I don't want to be gacha'd.
You're
I
gonna
hate
get.
gacha so much.
You're gonna get gotcha'd.
Oh damn it!
There's gotcha in Infinite Wealth,
Yeah, I know you put that.
but it's like parody gotcha.
Okay, all right, that's not bad.
So it's like funny.
All right, next game is Foam Stars, aka not Splatoon. This one's releasing tomorrow.
That should be Foam Stars : aka not Splatoon.
Yeah, this one's releasing tomorrow, February 6th on PlayStation Plus. I know there was a bit of a beta bit ago, and obviously Splatoon being how fun it is and people enjoying that. This one's also getting good, feedback. I think a lot of people have enjoyed what they played. They just can't really shake the not Splatoon stuff, so that's kind of funny. I know they're trying to kind of market themselves as opposite of that, more mature or like better graphics, not kiddie stuff, not squid stuff, but it's hard to kind of step away from it. But if the game's good enough, people will play it, so I don't think they have any worries. It is free on PlayStation Plus, so I'm definitely gonna play it. What about you? Were you
I could see this being a game night, like it's not going to be everyone because not everyone has a PS5, but I could see there being like playing around with it. I've heard it's fun, so
yeah,
it's just like I just really didn't enjoy Splatoon at all.
Oh, okay, because that was gonna be my question. Did you like Splatoon?
I think I bought it. I can't remember. I think I own the first one.
It's your habit of
or
buying
at least I played the
things.
demo.
It's your habit of buying things and supporting the market, but not really enjoying the things you buy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Like it's like kind of this like gimmicky thing, and I think it just gets boring after like 5 minutes, and I just didn't really enjoy the whole like ink mechanic. And yeah, that's it. So
all right. The next couple ones I feel like we could kind of go over quickly because it's not too much. We got Dave the Diver. That's finally going to be on PlayStation with Godzilla DLC. This one's April 2024. Dave the Diver, good indie game. I think it won a couple awards during the award season, so props on that. We have V Rising, which is also going to be out in 2024. This one got released on PC last year. A lot of people enjoyed it. I know a lot of streamers were playing it. It's basically like you're a vampire, but also you can build your vampire castle and do vampire shit. It looked fun. Not my cup of tea, but now it's gonna be on PlayStation. We have Silent Hill Short Message, which it looked like a PT. Like everything these days, whenever they show these type of games, there's always like a PT. For those unfamiliar, was this showcase that Kojima did before it got canceled. About a horror game. So that one's available now. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but I feel like one, it's free, and two, if it's a free experience that's short, I wouldn't mind getting into it and seeing it. Then they also showed some footage for the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is in development. It looks really good. Obviously, with a lot of the successes of the remakes and the remasters for a lot of these games, it's always good to see, especially if you're a big fan of the series. I never really played them, so this is something that interests me to a certain extent because not having played them, I feel like if it's good enough, this is where I take a crack at it. Any thoughts on these four things?
No.
Short and sweet.
I would say maybe on Silent Hill 2. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. I never played. I don't think I played the Silent Hill games, but I do love the music, so that would be potentially one draw for me to check out Silent Hill 2. I actually didn't like. I guess I just have like too high expectations, but I feel like the recent Resident Evil remakes are like so incredible. I feel like this actually like doesn't look that good.
Yeah, I mean it.
So it looks pretty budget. it looks pretty budget. So
also,
yeah,
you can't beat that RE engine. It's one of the best. So,
but I feel like that's the measuring stick, whether they like it or not. I think that's just kind of what fans of the genre have become accustomed to because Capcom's done such a good job with that. So, glad it exists. Maybe it, gets a whole new audience for Silent Hill, and maybe the next game can be, bigger and better. But I thought this looked pretty rough.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's worthy whenever it releases. Next, you had a big trailer for Judas, and this is the new game by Ken Levine's new studio. Obviously, the game director for BioShock 1. I don't think he directed 2, and I know, he didn't do 2, but he did do also BioShock Infinite. And if you saw this trailer, it's basically BioShock in space, but it looked really good. It looked amazing. The powers or whatever that you're able to get looked really good, and you could tell from the trailer. Obviously, it's got that type of story of BioShock, where it's like some weird shit's going on, and it's going to be morally ambiguous. So we'll see what's going on. But excited for this one. They didn't really have a date. They just said in development. But it's something that ever since it got announced, it's something that's been on everybody's radar, I think. And I think just seeing more footage of it definitely appeased a lot of people. What do you think of this one?
I liked what I saw. It's kind of funny, but it's exactly BioShock in space. So that's certainly the aesthetic and the feel. And yeah, I think I'm just excited. I know when BioShock Infinite came out, I think it was generally positive, but maybe it was a bit of a polarizing game. I was in the camp of I really enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily the best shooter game, but I like the world and the storytelling and the ending I thought was cool. I know not everyone loved that, but so yeah, I was a fan, and that was his last game.
Yeah.
Like that was a very long time ago. So I think I'm just like eager to see what's next from Ken Levine. Also realizing that he can be a bit of a polarizing figure, but
you either like him or you don't.
Yeah. So But just creatively, I wanted to just see what else he's got.
Yeah, it's always good to hear, especially with such well-known creators. It's good to see what they're up to, and you're always anticipating their stuff, even if they are a little bit controversial. All right, next two, which I think we will also gloss over, Metro Awakening VR and
VR.
Yeah, and Legendary Tales VR.
Do you remember when they announced PSVR 2? And I'm like, I think I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't.
Oh my god! Like
but it's
they
not.
they just sunset this thing immediately.
I mean, I think during this time it was a good time because you had to take care of Louis and Boba. So they drew you away from the stream when they were showing it. They look good. It's just like you said, VR. We're kind of out of it. It's not really pulling for us. It's still not, I believe, widely available where it's easy for everybody to get, kind of thing. It's a cost that you kind of have to analyze and see if you do want to spend that money, and it's not the right time.
To me, it's a Gran Turismo
only
accessory. Like if you're really in a Gran Turismo, you got to get it. If
but
not,
it looked good, especially
there's other options, I think, for
Legendary Tales. You remember when you first got the VR and I went over to your place like years ago and you showed us that demo of like walking around, and then I had the sword and shield or whatever. And it was fun, but it was also very like dated with the graphics. The Legendary Tales one, it was like that, but really good. So I'll say that they both look good. I'm pretty sure they're good experiences. We just don't have VR, so we will not talk about this anymore, and we will not try this unless anybody wants to send us a VR kit. If anyone wants to send us VR kits, we will talk about VR and we will play VR games. There you go.
You heard it here first.
Then we have Dragon's Dogma. Releasing March 22nd. We won't talk too much about this one, obviously, because I think we talked about it enough with the previews and stuff coming out. We're just excited. We're excited to be playing this. We think it looks good. And it'll be a great game for the month of March. Which, talking about March, the next one, also March 22nd. I did not realize it was going to be March 22nd. I was like,
that's insane.
I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's insane. I can't believe it.
And this one is Rise of Ronin. And if you guys have been hearing me, you guys know I'm super excited about this one. It's the next Team Ninja game. It's got Ghost of Tsushima vibes. It's got those Sekiro vibes. Super excited for it. And they announced the release date March 22nd as well. I was like, give me a week at least, man. Let me catch my breath. But this is going to be tough.
Do you think this is going to get the Horizon Zero Dawn treatment?
No, just because I feel
like it just being like too busy and it's just like new.
No, because I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn is just it's a much higher quality than anything that kind of Team Ninja has put out. That's a very like specific opinion too, but it's different genre. But the budget of Horizon Zero Dawn is so high that it boggles my mind that every time the new ones got released, something bigger and better just came out and it kind of got put to the wayside. I think Rise of Ronin doesn't have enough kind of publicity or whatever, or push where people are like.
But it is published by Sony though.
Yeah, but Sony will get their money no matter what, and then Capcom will get their money no matter what. So I'm just upset because it's both in one day. I gotta put one out for a little bit.
Which one you're going Dragon's Dogma first, right?
Yeah. I feel like I need to.
I knew it.
I need to slay some dragons, jump on some ogres, do some magic and shit. Or I might just do what I'm doing now, which is buy two games that came out, and one's gonna be really good, and the other one people think it's mediocre, but it's also good for me. And I'm talking about Infinite Wealth and Suicide Squad, which I will talk about later. But I have done it before. I have bought two games at the same time that I had no business buying at the same time.
two games at the same time.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like a life lesson. All right, but yeah, super excited for this. Obviously, the trailer they showed, I think it got me more excited because they showed off more. The game looks great. The ability to fly with this mechanism thing or whatever, old school mechanism thing, and the grappling hook, and then you can dive onto a horse. and the combat looks great. And I think we said it on the live stream. It does look like it has a bit of the counter system that Sekiro has, but it's not completely dependent on it. So I think you will have a better time with it if you get it. Did it kind of move the line for you that you kind of wanted? I know we talked about before how Team Ninja, it's a hit or miss where we want to get the games.
Yeah, I think at this point, Team Ninja's definitely a wait and see. Like I thought the trailer looked good, but I'm waiting for reviews. Like I feel like this could really go in either direction.
Yeah, yeah. It'll go in my direction. Is the direction I'm thinking, which is fine for me.
Yeah. I know. Like I'm confident you're gonna love the game no matter what. I'm a little bit more on the fence. And again, just because there's so much other stuff that I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna struggle to work through. Like, there's just no way I'm gonna be able to get that on release.
Yeah, and it's
I'm
fine.
I'm much more interested in Dragon's Dogma as well. So if anything, if I somehow have no backlog by the time Dragon's Dogma comes out, that would be my choice for day one.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel like we've established, like, usually I'll get a Team Ninja game and then you're like, hey, how is it? Should I get it? And I'm like, no, not this one's not for you. Maybe the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, was Stranger Paradise, I think I got that first.
You got that one first. I was gonna get it, but you got it first and you were like, oh, surprisingly good.
Yeah, I don't know, like, why. Was it I can't remember if it was the demo or if it was just getting fairly positive feedback. I can't remember, but yeah, I remember like being like, oh yeah, you're gonna love this game.
It was that the darkness was so thick you could taste it.
Yeah, maybe it was the like awful dialogue and insane music.
That was a dialogue from the game, by the way. If you guys don't know that, I just don't say things like that. All right. Next thing, Until Dawn remaster. This one, not much to say. It's a remaster of a pretty good horror make your own decision type game. I think the internet was making fun of it because now, like, you can see the killer's eyes, I guess, because of better graphics. But the game was good when it got released. This one's getting released in 2024 for PC and PS5. So if this is your cup of tea, something for you. And then, all right, the last two announcements, which were pretty big announcements. Nick correctly predicted this, which I'm ashamed because I wanted my prediction to come true, and that was that Nick predicted that the state of play was going to end with Death Stranding 2, and I was hoping that it would end with one of Sony's big first-party studios revealing something. But this is kind of a Sony first-party. But basically, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, release date 2025 at some point. Looked amazing. Like, obviously, anytime any Kojima game looks amazing. They always got the latest and greatest tech. A lot of weird shit going on. Favorite thing, neck hands, which I will attribute to you. So you should copyright that you called it neck hands before anybody else takes it. Yeah, always weird shit with Kojima, but I think that stood out the most to me. And the little puppet thing.
The puppet, yeah.
The puppet thing. Oh, and also Troy Baker's character. You know what? There was a lot of shit that stood out in this fucking trailer that was like,
not the mech, the baby mech.
Yeah.
Or
oh man. So much.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on. So I really enjoyed Death Stranding. I know that was also another game that was fairly polarizing. I don't know what it is. Like, just for whatever reason, all these games that are polarizing, I seem to enjoy. Or at least all the ones that we've talked about in the show. I feel like I've said that multiple times. It's like the third or fourth time I've had to say that. Really enjoy Death Stranding. At the same time, I have absolutely no clue what's going on with the story. It's classic Kojima insanity. So, I'm sure, like, as the trailer is going on, you're probably like, oh, look at all these things that maybe Nick understand. And it's like, no, like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I remember what's going on? I know
all the characters and everything, but yeah, it was a pretty wacky trailer, but that's what I would expect. One of the criticisms of the first game was kind of like the lack of combat, or maybe just like how poorly implemented combat was.
Well, it was about connecting the
Uh,
world, not killing the world.
yeah, and I think like look, if not that every game needs combat, but there was an attempt. There were like weapons and sneaking and taking people down, and I think just the way it was implemented was maybe kind of a weakness of the first game, and part of me wonders if he's trying to directly address that in this trailer with fairly immediately showing like this whole armory of
We got guns.
yeah, so that could be cool. But I thought the trailer looked great. Really, I mean, I thought it looked awesome, but at the same time, I'm also like, they really like did an amazing job with the PS4 version.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Death Stranding, the original game, like looks unbelievable. I think I played it on PS4 Pro. I'm not sure, but it looked so. But like this looks better, but it kind of made me just be like, okay, it's like it's better, but it's like holy shit, they really did an unbelievable job with that first game. Um, and I think that's probably it. So this is definitely going to be a day one. I thought maybe they would try to sneak this in for holiday this year, but it's 2025, so I'll have to be
But I wouldn't
a
be
little
surprised if
patient.
it's early 25.
It could be early, yeah. Early 2025. Then I'll be able to get my walking simulations in. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
I think
hence,
I think I think you I think you need to give this game another shot.
I will give it another shot. I ended up getting the Game of the Year edition, director's cut, whatever it was. I enjoyed it. It got frustrating a bit, but I think it was just because like
It
I
is
wasn't in the mood to get frustrated. So I was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm playing something else."
Yeah. It is frustrating and slow at the beginning, but like once you get into it, it's very fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. So
Yeah, no, I'm a
just
big
take my word for
advocate.
it.
No, no, I
Take my
got
word
you.
for it.
I got you. I believe you. I'm a big advocate of those. I know there's some games where like they don't click for you right away, and I've experienced that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, where they don't click for you right away, and you just got to give it some time, and then in the mood, you got nothing to do on a weekend or something, and then you pick it up, and you're like, oh shit, this is fun. I like it or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
that happened with me. That happens with me all the time. Some of the biggest ones are The Witcher 3 and Grand Theft Auto 5, where I got those games like either at launch or shortly after launch, and I played them for like a few hours, and I was like, oh yeah, like I like this, but life happens or something happened, and then like years later, I picked it back up again and completed them.
yeah, you
So
finally get to play it proper.
yeah, exactly. So I think that should happen for you sometime by the end of 2024. You got to get through Death Stranding so that you're ready for the next one.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that last year was like packed, and I got it at the beginning of the year, and
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
big amount of good games started coming out. So I think I was like, you know what, I'll just play these other ones. All right, so we're super excited about Death Stranding too, and all Kojima stuff. So the other thing was that he also announced that he has a new game. It's a new espionage game called Fissint that is in development, and looks like it's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive. Um, didn't show anything, but obviously it got everybody excited. He's going back to the roots, obviously, working so long on Metal Gear Solid, and to be working with this, especially with Sony, who are trusted partners, and they've always kind of supported him in everything that he has done, because he is such a great creative mind. Super excited for this. I mean, there's not much to say. It's Kojima. It's gonna be a espionage game. He says it's gonna be like a game and also has movie stuff, which I don't know what that means, but he's always make these big set pieces, especially hours long cutscenes and stuff like that. So it's gonna be an experience. So whether it sucks or not, people are gonna get it and people are gonna enjoy it. So, any thoughts on him going back to espionage games?
Love it. I love it. I also
Especially,
like that it's kind of like a big, like the messaging of like basically just like giving the middle finger to Konami of like, okay, well, if you're gonna butcher my baby, I'll just make a new one.
and
It's so I like that part of it as well.
and then same part is that he's gotten so. I mean, he was popular before, but now he's gotten like worldwide popular. Where he has all these like A-list stars that he'll get into the game
Yeah.
business. Like George Miller is in the new Death Stranding too. So like stuff like that. I'm excited to see where that goes. So
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they were saying is there's going to be more of an overlap between TV film projects and video game projects. Like it's all going to maybe share the same actors and I don't know, who knows, but I think there's definitely going to be a lot more connectivity with Hollywood that he was trying to do with Metal Gear. I'm sure a lot of people remember the infamous like David Hayter getting ousted as the voice of Snake in favor of Kiefer Sutherland, just so you know Kojima could scratch his Hollywood itch.
he just didn't have the
So
power. Now he has the power.
yeah, now he's got plenty of power and the backing of Sony to basically start from scratch, build it how he wants to, have as much Hollywood talent and movie crossovers as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like this whole transmedia, thing where kind of from the get go, it's planned to have movies and games based off of this IP as opposed to game first and then down the road figure out how to adapt it. So maybe that's also what they mean by it. I mean, it was kind of like a very vague statement, um, but something like that.
Well, super exciting stuff, and I'm pretty sure wherever Jeff Keighley was, he splooshed. And then, and then they ended the showcase by just saying that there's going to be a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth State of Play for tomorrow, February 6th, which I'll probably watch just because I don't care as much about it as Nick does. I don't think you're going to watch it because you want to be unspoiled for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I think they might like maybe they have like a couple cool announcements, and then I think there's speculation that there's going to be an announcement of a demo. Uh, like maybe I'll play the demo if
Yeah, I was
there's
going to
like
ask
something
if you were
if
going to play
something
the
carries
demo.
over. You know my thing. Like I only play demos if something carries over. If nothing carries over, and I've already pre-ordered the game. Like what to me, it's like what's the point? I might as well just wait. So
You already have my money.
you already got my money.
Yeah. All right. So that was it for the state of play. Really, a lot of enjoyable stuff on there, and we're gonna give our thoughts on it. I think it was good. I like the amount of stuff that they showed. Obviously, some of the stuff had already been previously seen, but it's good that a lot of it does have solid dates for releases. And I thought it was well done. Obviously, we've been kind of clamoring for Sony to do something since we don't know what their slate is for 2024. So this is good way to start off the year with enough games to show us. So we'll see. A lot of big heavy hitters, I would say, missing those besides Death Stranding. I don't think anything else was like oh my god, pretty much wowed me. I'm excited for a lot of the stuff.
I love that. There was nothing that was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I want that oh my god thing. I mean, I like I said, I liked everything that I saw. It just Death Stranding, which was the biggest thing I think for me because
It was like a 9-minute trailer or something, right?
yeah, but
Like I thought that was surprising.
I'm saying for me because I like the game, but it doesn't get my tingles up. It wasn't like I thought it was good. It could have been great. What do you think of the overall state of play?
Well, I already kind of spoiled it. Like to me, all I was hoping for was Stellar Braid and Death Stranding 2. So
All right, so you went. Oh
they
my god.
delivered. So I had, yeah, but I would say that's like pretty low expectations. I think I have been. It's just been like with all of these games showcases, they like almost always are like very disappointing. just because everyone knows that all of these platforms have a ton of studios working on stuff that we don't know about. So I think everyone's just eager to learn more about all the shiny new objects as opposed to learning more about games we already know about. So I think maybe that's kind of where your disappointment is, where you still had that hope for
The one big thing.
the one big thing, and then I was like, yeah, that's what I wanted to, but I just knew that probably like wasn't going to happen.
You're like, man, it's January.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like I think there's a lot of stuff going on probably with Jim Ryan leaving the company, and there might be some switching around of things. So maybe they're waiting for that to like, you know, I think that'll be at least until like March or something like that. So maybe hopefully they have all their ducks in a row. You know, I don't know, maybe it's like summertime. I think they probably do another
In
maybe
between,
like one more. Yeah, they probably do
April
something in between.
like
I don't know exactly, but like it has like I know I think I said this last year, but like this summer like there has to be like a number of meaningful announcements about like what's coming, because the like it's pretty slim for this year, and then like we really have nothing for next year than Death Stranding, and that's pretty much it.
And the holidays, because I feel like at least every holiday, Sony always has something big. God of War.
Yeah, what's this year's Spider-Man? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was It was good. All right, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would say it was good. Like it you know, and there was other stuff. I know I'm just kind of focusing on the two games that I cared most about, but you know, there's some other good stuff in there. I think Judas, you know, just seeing more of that for I think the first time. Maybe there was like one other kind of like
but
short teaser.
Not this long. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so that's cool. Maybe that's it.
There you go. You got the pressing button stamp of
good.
It was good. All
right. Spelled GUD.
All right, and we were just gonna cover the state of play, because usually when we have these presentations, they do kind of go on long, and we don't want to kind of bog the episode down. But there was one other thing, big news this week that I did want to cover, just because I felt like it was very, very consequential for the gaming community, and that's that there's been a lot of rumors, and we don't really like to address rumors, because unless we get a lot of solid information or we read up a lot of solid information, we don't like to speculate on it. But it's kind of been out there that Xbox first party games are going to be releasing on other consoles, mainly on PlayStation, and I want to talk about this obviously because this is a big move. We've talked about before how Sony's kind of winning the console war, if you would say, because they are selling more, and Microsoft's kind of going the other way. They want to do more subscription stuff. That's why they have the big push for Game Pass and such other things. But these reports are saying, you know, Starfield's coming over. You're gonna have Senua's Sacrifice coming over, Gears of War coming over, Halo coming over. We don't know exactly, you know, the truthfulness of it and exactly which ones, but you know, the rumblings are there. There's leaks for Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves to start off. But this is very big. I think it's something big for the gaming community. Obviously, when you have the major three console makers, Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox, and you have kind of interchanging franchises to play in the other ones, it's always good for the gamers. And that's why it doesn't really happen too often, because it's not good for the bottom line of those companies. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think something like Gears of War or Halo will make their way, just because I think those franchises are their moneymaker. And obviously that will sell consoles. They're not going to kind of push that on them, just like Sony wouldn't push like God of War or Spider-Man or something like that onto Xbox or Nintendo. So that's my take on that. What about you? What do you think? Do you think there's truth to these rumors that this will happen? And what do you think the bottom line is at the end of this?
I think there's truth to it. You know, they own Minecraft. They now own Call of Duty. Those are two absolutely enormous games and make a ton of money because they're multi-platform. So that might be something that they've learned where it's like, holy shit, if we care about making the most amount of money, going multi-platform can make a lot of sense. That of course assumes that you can make really good games that scale and can keep a very large active audience. So to me, that's like the big bet. It's like what's Xbox good at? Is it good at being a platform, or is it good at making games? Um,
We're still trying to figure that one out.
Historically, it was kind of like two sides of the same coin, where it's like you needed both, and you could build a business off of that. But I think because there's been so many third-party studios just making so much money and being so successful going multi-platform, um, and just because Microsoft, it's like seemingly like can't get out of the place they're in with their platform, and being, I think, in a fairly distant third place. Um, so I could see that strategically being a good option for them. But again, it's like you got to make really good games, and haven't really seen that. Haven't seen that at all. Um,
Do
so
you do you think like I do that it's mostly just going to be stuff that would have been multi-platform anyways? Because you did mention like Call of Duty and Minecraft and all that stuff, and those weren't originally developed by Microsoft. Those were Activision Blizzard and Mahjong or whatever, and they bought those studios.
Mojang,
Oh, there you go. I'm thinking about Mahjong, the Chinese game, or Japanese game.
Mahjong.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, like I think it's because those were already kind of gonna be multi-platform anyways. Starfield's a big one that's coming up. Obviously, that there was even before it got released and before Microsoft, but Bethesda, like that was kind of also gonna be on PlayStation. Do you think, like I do, that it's just gonna be those and it's not gonna be the Halos and the Gears of War and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, those are all kind of tricky, right? Because I think there was a PS5 version planned for Starfield, and then they scrapped it, and then I'm assuming it didn't do well from like a sales perspective because people just either got it through Game Pass or didn't care about it because it didn't like review too well. So they might be in a position where they're actually looking to like, how do we recoup our development cost by porting other versions? Like that probably is what drove that decision versus them just like being all in on everything being multi-platform. Uh, yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I don't know.
Got him. Got him with a
Yeah,
good
it's
question.
got them. Yeah, because I don't think they have a great track record with live service games. It's really Sea of Thieves. I think Halo was a complete failure.
Oh, well, it's turning around. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No,
On the
no,
internet
no,
sense, is turning around.
no, it's not. Uh, so like those are the games that I think translate or can translate into like being huge successes. It's like these live service games, there's recurring engagement and people are always buying shit and always playing it, and games that require a large audience, like you kind of like have to make those be multi-platform, and that's why Call of Duty that's why they do that. And I think there was always all the speculation around when Microsoft acquired Activision, were they going to make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox? And it's just like, I'm not close to the numbers, but nobody on planet Earth would be like, oh yeah, let's walk away from all of this money
All this Sony
with
money.
with a bet,
Yeah.
and PC. It's everything. Like let's walk away from all this money to try to make it exclusive to Xbox, and maybe it like converts people to our platform, which I believe it wouldn't, or there'd be like a fairly low conversion rate. So then like they don't have a great track record with those types of games. And then like they've had like they really just don't have a good track record with any genre of game. Like I think like Sony's model is their bread and butter has been like single player games, like the blockbuster titles. That's what draws people into their ecosystem. I could see like Microsoft like throwing on the towel on those and like
Yeah, I was gonna.
increasingly shifting towards like they want more Call of Duties. And the new president of Blizzard is the former GM of Call of Duty. Like I just kind of see that being what they're shooting for.
This
Because
is
in my
this is very much like saying you're losing, but without saying you're losing.
yeah. I mean, Sega had to do the same thing, right? Sega did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
They were like, "Hey, we're just third party now."
well, Sega doesn't have Microsoft money, so that's a
They
good
didn't
thing.
have the Microsoft bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see there being it's not exactly the same, but I could see Microsoft going the way of Sega. Just because that makes sense at a minimum based on the games that they've acquired. But maybe over time they just increasingly shift more of their development resources to those types of games. I also think with like the crown jewel of Microsoft is Azure. It's cloud. So I know there's been some kind of false starts with cloud gaming and subscription models and all that stuff, but I do think like in the long term that could still be like a big thing. And if that's the case, then games that require large user bases will benefit from having like a direct connect into Azure.
I like those takes. You know what? Somebody quote those takes, and then in the future, when this comes to pass, it'll be like, was I'm pressing buttons because I wasn't expecting all those hot takes, but those were some good hot takes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had to think about it for a second. So.
All right, don't say it like that because now it just seems like you don't think about anything. When I ask
that's
you questions,
generally true. Yeah,
oh.
No, that's generally true. Yeah.
You bastard. No, but that's good. Like I said, it was something that did come up, and I think because it does signal like a big shift that could have repercussions for these companies. I think it was something definitely that we needed to address. So only the future will tell, and we'll keep you guys updated whatever news comes forward. But yeah, all right. Let us move on to some closing thoughts. I'll start off. This week I've been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Surprisingly very good. It was kind of on my radar because I liked the movie when it came out, but it wasn't like necessarily like one of my favorite movies. It was just something that was really enjoyable. But this new series, it stars Donald Glover, who you guys know as Childish Gambino, and then also Maya Erskine, which is another great actress. She's been in a lot of stuff. She does the voice for Blue Eyed Samurai, but it's really enjoyable. It's got spy stuff, but also kind of relationship stuff, and it's funny. It's surprisingly funny. Mixed in with all the action, it's surprisingly funny with like the jokes coming and all that stuff. I would recommend it if you're looking for a new show to watch. I'm halfway through it, and also like at each episode they have some good guest stars. I think obviously the star power is really high on this. But yeah, new show, new year. Looking for something to watch. I would recommend watching that. And then I have been watching. Rewatching Curb Your Enthusiasm just because the new season's coming up. The new last season was coming up, so that's always been fun. I'm a big fan of Seinfeld and the creator Larry David, and I'm a big fan of the show because it's funny and dumb. So yeah, I've been watching that. And then as far as gaming, play a little bit of Infinite Wealth. I'm still not on the track of super playing it, which it's just a matter of time before I hit that stride and just really go in on it. And the reason is because I ended up buying Suicide Squad, which Nick was like, "You're an idiot if you buy the $100 version." And guess what I did? I bought the $100 version because I'm an idiot. You're muted.
You did buy the $100 version.
Yeah, I told you I bought the $100 version.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you.
I was gonna put it off, but I was like, I want to play it, and I want these costumes, and then I
No
bought the
wonder
Halo.
you like. No wonder you like the game because you spent so much fucking money on it.
No,
You've
I
convinced
don't.
yourself that you.
I don't like games because I spend a lot of money on them. I spend a lot of money on games because I like them. Bam! Put it out on a t-shirt. But I also get like the first season pass and shit. So I get a lot of shit. I don't mind spending money if I get some shit and I think it's good shit. But I said shit a lot. The game I'm enjoying it. I mean, not a lot of my friends are playing it, which is a disappointment to me because I wish I could play it with more of my friends. And I know we had a good time playing the alpha, and I'm not gonna tell my friends like, oh yeah, you should buy this game. It's a big commitment. It's a $70 game, but I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the combat. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the game. Looks amazing. I did, obviously with the Batman Arkham series, they did such a great job with the graphics and everything like that, and the story is amazing. I like the game. I know it's gotten a lot of bad rap. It had its hiccups. There was a glitch where, like, for the people who did purchase it early, this didn't happen to me because I purchased it like a day after because I couldn't play it that day. But the people who purchased it early, the game was auto completing, which kind of sucked. So they offered some money to them, and all that stuff. The end game, I think it's still something we're working on, and from playing live service games, I know it's one of the toughest things in a live service game. It's like, all right, we beat the story or whatever, or we beat the campaign. What can we do now? And I think that's a little bit lacking from what I've been reading. I haven't gotten there myself because I haven't been playing it too much to get there, I think, and I haven't leveled up enough. But it's a good game. To me, it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, enough people pick it up and I could play with more people, or it goes on a bargain bin, which is, I think, kind of what everybody's hoping for, that it goes on a little bit of a bargain bin sale and more people pick it up. But, fuck the haters. I like Suicide Squad. I'm okay with it, Rocksteady. Also, Rocksteady, you could, if you want to give me some stuff because I like the game, I will give you coverage for the game. Forget IGN, Hugo from Pressing Buttons. We'll give you
No,
coverage.
they don't want anyone to cover the game.
Well, because they think that people think it's bad. I don't think it's bad, so I will give positive coverage. I like the game,
Okay.
and I will say that not because you're going to give me free stuff, but because I like the game.
I choose business ethics.
Pressing buttons is not about business ethics.
Okay.
We do our own thing over here.
Okay.
But that's it. That's it for me. Tell me your closing thoughts.
It's called quid pro quo.
Not for me.
Yeah. Okay. What have I been doing? Do you know?
Yeah, Infinite Wealth and Grand Blue.
Oh, that's right. Can you go on? Can you just do my closing thoughts for me?
Apparently,
No, I'm kidding.
I just jogged your memory a little bit.
No. Yeah, and mainly Infinite Wealth. I don't know if I have too much more to add other than I'm enjoying the game even more. I haven't played it as much as I'd like. It's an absolutely huge game. So I haven't seen any. There's like those like clickbait articles around like, this is how long it takes to beat. So like I haven't come across any of those yet, but it feels like it could take me much longer than the first one if I want it to.
80 hours.
80 hours?
Well,
that's what you heard, or you're guessing?
No, that's what I'm I think it's gonna be like 80 hours.
Because I think the Sujimon and the island, like I think you can go real deep into those things if you want to. So I think that could juice up the runtime for sure. But yeah, I don't know if I don't want to say too much because presumably we'll have a review episode
for this one.
and kind of go deeper into it. But I'll just say I continue to enjoy the game. Definitely game of the year contender for me.
I trust that opinion.
And then Granblue Fantasy Relink also came out last week on Thursday/Friday, depending on where you live on planet Earth. I played it for maybe 45 minutes. So real brief. I just wanted to get like a taste of the game. It's getting like pretty good reviews, I think, for that genre. And then
High
I
player
think
count
it's
too on Steam.
yeah, I think it's doing very well on Steam. It's got like the highest concurrent player count for Japanese role playing games. However they define that, who knows, but um so that's cool. So yeah, I played it for a little bit. I think I'm gonna really like this game. Again, I'm trying to focus on Infinite Wealth, but really enjoyed my brief playtime. The game looks great. It has a bunch of different elements of games that I like, where it's kind of like Skies of Arcadia type vibe, and it's got more of like an action-based combat system that kind of reminds me of like the Tales of Arise, but an even more like action combat version of that. And what I didn't know was how much like Monster Hunter DNA there is in this game, which I think is something that's interesting. So,
We love
apparently that's like
Monster Hunter.
yeah, like we're both big Monster Hunter fans. I think I've only probably killed like a few monsters, one of them being or two of them being like big guys, but I think I could see that being like a fun game mechanic as well. And there's online co-op and matchmaking and all that fun stuff. So I haven't gotten into that yet, but so I think this is a good case of lots of different ingredients from games that I like that are coming together in a nice package. So
Yeah, this one threw a bit of a wrench in your system because you were just thinking of coasting with Infinite Wealth until Final Fantasy VII, and now something else
now
is
I'm
going.
like it's causing me to like maybe rush through Infinite Wealth a little bit more than I otherwise would. Just so I can get to that in anticipation of Rebirth.
Oof. It's been a good month. Well, month into 2 months of the beginning of the year for games. That was our big thing. If it was gonna live up to how great last year was, but it looks like we're doing good. Any TV or movies or anything? No. All right. All right, there you go. That's it. He said no.
I ain't got no time for that.
No time for that. All right, that was it. Thank you everybody for joining us. Don't forget to go to our website, pressingbuttons.gg. You can find our link to our Discord where we are always on there, even though we're mostly on, private or incognito, but we are on there and we're always interacting with people because we love interacting with everybody. But yeah, and also our YouTube and Spotify and all that stuff. We thank you guys for your support, and then everybody who is on the live stream, which I don't know who. It says 2 views over here. I don't know who's on Twitch because the OBS is being weird and I can't tell, but we appreciate it. This live streaming endeavor has been going on pretty good, and I feel like it gives us a little spice of like, let's not fuck up the live stream. So
too much,
yeah.
Not too much. A little bit's okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. And then we're going to end the episode here. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.